Hey, I'm Millie. Welcome to my world where the ordinary ends and the unexplained begins. Now, let's enter the portal.
They say if you stare into a mirror long enough, your face will begin to change. Dr. Mara Ilves, a trauma psychologist, volunteers to participate in a controversial experiment funded by the government, known only as the mirror test. It's simple on the surface. Sit alone in a room with a two-way mirror for 30 days. No interaction, no books, no distractions. Just her and her reflection, 12 hours a day. The study claims it's about visual perception under isolation, but Mara suspects more, something buried. As days pass, her reflection starts doing things she doesn't. At first, subtle gestures, a twitch, a smile that lingers a second too long. Then, memories begin shifting. Conversations she swears she never had, a patient who never existed, a child she doesn't remember losing. The reflection begins speaking to her, not aloud, but in her mind. It tells her she's not Mara, that she took Mara's place years ago, that the real Mara is inside the mirror, screaming soundlessly every time she walks away. She tries to leave the experiment early. They won't let her. They claim she signed a waiver. The footage shows her agreeing, smiling. The reflection becomes more vivid. It mimics her, but with slight, sick differences. Blinking at wrong times, lip-syncing her thoughts a split second too early. It begins controlling her movements outside the mirror. She watches herself brush her teeth from the mirror's side. Her body obeys someone else. On day 30, she's finally released. She returns home, but her reflection doesn't follow. The mirror is blank, no image. When she blinks, the world does not. And in every reflective surface now, there's only Mara, pleading, crying, banging silently. From the other side. The calls always came at 2:17 a.m. right beneath the old floorboards in the nursery. Emery Faye, recently widowed and mother of a stillborn child, moves into an ancestral home in Maine, seeking solitude, but grief has a way of slipping through the cracks, and soon, so do the calls. Every night at exactly 2:17 a.m., the sound of a rotary phone dialing rises from beneath the nursery floorboards, followed by a ring, a real old-fashioned ring. There's no phone down there, no wiring, just packed dirt and history. At first, she tries to rationalize it, rats, pipes, but then the calls start answering themselves. She hears voices beneath her, whispers that say her name, a child's giggle. One night, curiosity overwhelms her. She peels up the floorboards. Beneath, she finds an old rotary phone buried in the dirt, pristine, plugged into nothing. The moment she touches it, it rings in her hand. She answers. Static. Then,
Mama?
She clutches the phone to her chest, her baby's voice, clear as glass.
I am cold. You left me.
Calls begin during the day now. She starts neglecting food, sleep, her hygiene, just to hold the phone and speak with her dead child. She digs a little deeper every day, the hole expanding, floor eaten away. Neighbors check in. Emery doesn't answer the door. Weeks later, a social worker is sent. The nursery is empty, except a perfectly preserved rotary phone on the floor, cradled in the hands of a dried, curled corpse. The receiver is still off the hook. A faint voice echoes through the earpiece.
Tell Mama to come back. It's so dark down here.
It started when the numbers on the water meter blinked in a pattern I recognized from my dreams.
Dorian Yue is a mathematician and codebreaker obsessed with patterns. His world is made of numbers, logic, and clean order, until he begins seeing irrational equations repeating in nature. The Fibonacci spiral inverted, primes that no one has recorded, recurring decimal strings etched in cloud formations, leaf veins, coffee foam. He brushes it off. But one day, a pigeon lands on his balcony and drops a torn scrap of paper, a set of numeric sequences, forming an impossible fractal when mapped in 3 dimensions. The pattern appears everywhere after that, in subway graffiti, in spilled milk, in the grain of his skin. Dorian begins scribbling compulsively on walls, mirrors, himself. He doesn't eat, doesn't sleep. People he knows begin disappearing. Entire streets vanish from maps. No one remembers them but him. He believes he's being selected, tuned like a frequency. He finally cracks the pattern's core formula. It's not a code. It's a summoning. A way to see what lies beneath reality. He performs the mental ritual, just a precise alignment of his thoughts. His mind becomes a key. The sky changes color. Everything slows, sounds stretch. Space around him bends like heat over asphalt. From behind the stars, something stirs. Massive, ancient, utterly aware. It regards him, not with malice, with expectation. It communicates not in words, but in solutions. Abstract truths poured into his brain like hot lead. He learns that human consciousness is a fluke, a readable flicker between pulses of this being's vast mind. And it has noticed our planet. Dorian screams until blood pours from his eyes. His mind, stretched to the limit, cracks. But he can't unsee. He can't forget. He whispers numbers into the wind, trying to close the gate. But the stars are already rearranging themselves. One by one.
Next time, I will take you into the shadows where memories twist and the mind bends. Recharge, rethink, remember who you are.